You can go in there, you can look at this, like look around, move it around. It's a pretty cool effect to be able to do right inside After Effects. Hello friends, Action Movie Dad here, and you're looking great today. Now that Red Giant Depth Generator makes it easy to generate depth maps right inside After Effects, it's easier than ever to do some of my favorite things you can do with depth maps. So I decided to dust off an old script that I had made for VFX and Chill. It was previously known as Depth to 3D, but now I am re-releasing it as Depth Mesh. And here it is, super simple, and basically all you need for it is a piece of footage, like this canyon footage, and the depth map that you've generated from it, right here. Ideally, you'll have put depth in the title of the depth map, just to make things easier. When I was playing around with a lot of fun effects like this one, I realized one of the most common things I do was use the luminance value as a way to drive the alpha of the original footage. But it would get a little bit unwieldy having all of those matte layers all in one place. So with your two files selected, hit Create Easy Matte, and it'll automatically sort your footage into the sources and an Easy Matte comp. The cool thing about this pre-comp is that if you drag it into any new comp or existing comp, you can see you have the original footage with the matte from the depth matte coming in here. But that's not all. If you go down to your single layer in the comp, you can open it up and see that there are some essential properties. And from here, you can dial up the sharpness of this matte to something like this. And you can set the depth level to deeper or closer or whatever, so you can have just this nice little slice of your footage right here that kind of holds at that. And then you can comp that with your original footage and then put something in between. And now you can see you have a little bit more easy control over kind of matting the foreground element in front of some other element. You can dim the contrast a little bit so it's a little bit more fadey like that. And you can also invert the matte in case you want some other kind of opposite effect. Now, I like this setup that uses the essential properties because it means that you could have multiple copies of your footage where one is inverted and one is not, and you can set different levels for what you're matting in case you want to do any kind of cool stylized comp or whatever. But yeah, it's a very fun way to get to interact with these depth maps. All right, next up we've got Stereo Comp. It works just like the other. You select the footage and the depth file and then click Create Stereo Comp. And you'll see that it'll try to sort of sort things into nice comps like this. So there's a Stereo Comps folder now where you can view the left eye, the right eye, and a stereo viewer here. Now, if you don't have 3D glasses, you can also try that crazy side-by-side thing where you are looking at the two and kind of crossing your eyes together. You'll want to render that pretty small if you do that. But what's cool about this is that there's a null right up top that has all of these controls for the separation amount for these two eyes right here, the scene conversion, so you can set what depth of this fake 3D thing is appearing right on screen. You can check this box for finer controls in case you need to really dial in simpler scene convergence or something like that. And you can also blur the depth map in the background a little bit. And what that does is it just makes it so some of this displacement, the larger it is, the more you blur the depth map, the smoother that distortion is. But it's pretty cool because it gives you this nice camera 1, camera 2 angle based on your depth map. And then last but not least, we've got the true 3D option, which is select your footage and depth layer again and click Create Mir Comp. And it looks like it kind of just opens up this new comp called Mir Comp, sorted just the way the other ones are, into trap code comps right here. And the cool thing about this is I'm going to quickly switch over to a custom camera view, and you'll see that it is taking your footage layer and your depth layer and using it to create a mirror layer that is extruding that original footage like this. So check it out. So you've literally got a 3D representation of the footage that you've created a depth map for. You can rotate around it, and yeah, this one turned out really well. Landscapes and smooth things like this end up being really fun because you can go in there, you can look at this, like look around, move it around. It's a pretty cool effect to be able to do right inside After Effects. So anyway, that's basically the summary of these cool stereo scripts. Feel free to download Depth Wish from this link right here, and I hope you get to enjoy Red Giant Depth Generator.